Hello, everybody. We had a little bit of technical difficulties there with our sniper. As you can see, the sniper is not with us, but the rest of your Olympians are here. They are ready to rock. They are ready to rumble. They are ready to survive? Question mark? We'll see. We have a lot to get to tonight, ladies and gentlemen. It is 1933. Um, let's see. Where should we start? Maybe with a phone call. But first, before we even start with a phone call, I'm getting ahead of myself as we need to talk to our Olympians, find out who they are, how they feel about their character, and how they feel about this being their last night in 1933. Allison, start us off.
Not even close, Greg. Not even close. Hey, everybody, it's Allison. I play Caitlin Jane O'Callahan. She is aviatrix extraordinaire, princess of the skies, America's flying sweetheart. And she's back tonight as the leader of the Olympians, more or less. We'll see how that goes. I told a friend this week, look, I exist in 2018. I live in 1933, basically. So excited to be back.
Awesome. Awesome. I'm glad. I want you to keep that excitement, Allison. I want you to embrace it and hold it dear because that excitement
Stop.
may
Stop.
just carry you through. Okay. I've said too much, I guess. Let's move on to our always optimistic, our bundle of joy, our fiercely positive librarian, Lauren. Lauren, tell us about your character and whether or not she's going to have another humdinger of a night in 1933.
Well, Sabella Maria always has a good time here in 1933. And so does Lauren, Greg. Just such a good time. Sabella is a bookstore owner who may or may not be psychic. She's psychic. It's fine. It's not a secret anymore. And she is not worried at all about what is currently happening in the game. No worries, no fear. Gonna kick some ass. That's all.
Again, see what I told you, ladies and gentlemen? Optimism. She is the optimistic Olympian. Now, normally we would go to our sniper right now and he would tell you about how Dwight feels about surviving 1933. But, ladies and gentlemen, 1933 got him. So he may or may not pop in here. If he does, all the cameras go wonky. It'll take me about 12 to 13 hours to fix them, and then we'll be able to continue along with our story. But until then, Dwight has been shot as of the end of last episode, and he has succumbed to his injuries to the point where he has passed out from blood loss. So we will pick up his character there. He will still be a part of the adventure. He will just be in the background as he is not actively controlled by one Steve. So let's skip up to Strider. Strider, Elijah had quite an interesting go of it last time. He met his good friend, Phil. Phil showed up. You know, he seemed very happy to see him. But how do you feel? How does Elijah feel? Is this the last night in 1933 for all those people between your ears?
Funny you should say that. Alex, the crime boss. But certainly not Elijah, or Jean Jacket, or General Chrysanthemum, or I have probably a dozen more. And yeah, I'm playing Elijah Sawyer. He is what appears to be a Southern con man, popping in and out of personalities as he sees fit. Hopefully, it's his own idea and it's his own will doing that, and hopefully he's not messed up in the head for seeing all these giant snakes and flaming men and whatever.
It's almost as if the internet itself cannot hold what is Elijah Sawyer. We got a little roboting there coming from you, buddy, but I think it might be a combination of the energy, the 1933's time travel, and from the last time I checked, the potential victory of the Minnesota Vikings. I don't know if they've won yet or not, or if they've lost, if I've just condemned them to hell, and so everybody in Minnesota can come kill me. That'd be great. Anyway, with the last little bit of it, let us go to Lindy. Now, Greta's been, let's see, a championship like Monte Carlo-esque driver. She has been a de facto sub-leader to Kate. She really hasn't been a doctor, though, since her arrival in New York City. Other than, yeah, so go ahead, tell us.
I did some wonderful autopsies that was cut short by a flame guy who she's very much peeved at, and by proxy, mildly peeved at good Herr Sawyer. But you know, he wasn't there. It's not necessarily his fault, but damn it, it better not happen again. We have a sniper.
The sniper's here. Everybody bear with me. Keep talking.
Okay. Yeah. So she is a doctor scientist specializing in bioengineering mostly, and she did doctor that German at the end, and she was good at Dr. Dwight, and now she can because he's here.
He's back. Yay. Okay, let me take a second to set up said cameras, and I will get it ready everywhere, as you can. Everybody gets to see behind the curtain about how the magic of streaming actually works.
Wow, it's so not pretty.
There you are,
everyone, ad lib.
Steve. Let's go to you, buddy. We jumped around to everybody else, but you get a chance to chime in. Dwight, how did he like his last adventure in 1933, other than that bullet that pierced his side?
Can you hear me?
I can.
Yes.
I feel like a bullet just pierced my side a minute ago, and my computer went crazy. He felt great. He's not feeling good. He needs help. He needs healing. How's everybody doing this evening? Thanks for joining in. Yada, yada, yada.
All right. Thanks for stretching that out as long as you could, buddy.
I'm taking up enough of your time.
I appreciate it. Let me get Strider fired up here, everyone, and we will.
Are we live?
We are, bud.
Oh,
say hi to everybody.
Yeah, I have to ask that question because last time I wasn't sure. Hi, everybody.
Right. Okay, there we go. We get Strider up here. All right, everyone.
And in the meantime, we'll be participating in 1933 karaoke.
Right.
No. We
No.
will not be doing any such thing.
Oh, what? That doesn't sound fun to you?
I'm only in the 80s and 90s. I can't help you with 33.
I would much rather play with this head I put in your icebox.
Can you take it out of there?
Oof.
I need the ice for drinking.
I put a cup of ice to the side. It's not contaminated.
Just a cup?
I think I'm fine to have my lemonade cold. Thank you, Miss Ives.
Okie
We're gonna be fine.
Okay, so
there's like marijuana leaves behind me, is there? Okay, all right, I'm good.
You're good to go, buddy.
All right.
Okay, so are you over in? Okay, I know where you are. Yeah, that's a good call there, bud. Okay, so
I got like a right there.
All right, to get us set up here, now that I finally got everything sort of pseudo working out, what we want to do is we have a couple ways that you can interact with the show, ladies and gentlemen. You can contribute, you can become subs, you can give advantages and critical successes. Hey, you can give me a critical success because people often forget the Keeper, and Cthulhu is a very PC-friendly game, so the Keeper really does need a little bit of extra help. So just throwing that out there, if anybody out there would like to help out in any way.
You deserve it. You do deserve it.
I do. I appreciate that, Steve. Thank you. Thank you for noticing that. Okay, so to recap what happened in our last adventure, the majority of the action took place in New York City. We had a couple bonus episodes that you can catch on YouTube that came through and kind of fed into the situation that presented itself in last episode. Jack made the entire team aware of the fact that there was an additional Olympian in the form of a 9-year-old girl named Ruby Foster who lived in Harlem. As the team went to get Ruby or to bring her into safety, her and her family, they found that her house was tossed and that any evidence of her current whereabouts was unknown. So after some investigation, the team realized that there were several Nazis on the premises that were pretending to perhaps be helpful agents of the U.S. government. So after some tracking down, we had the team split into essentially 3 different groups. We had the very lively Cato Callahan chasing down the presumed Nazi in disguise to 115th Street on Harlem. She was followed by the burdened Dwight Burke, who is carrying probably every gun that was ever made. And as he finally caught up, a gunfight ensued on 115th Street of Harlem. The Olympians, Kate and Dwight, were the victors, but not without Dwight taking a shot in the side, of which he is still feeling the effects. Now, back in the other group that we have, we'll call them Olympians 2. The Olympian 2 group, consisting of Greta and Elijah, were involved with discussing some further scenarios with the neighbor of the Fosters, Syl Jefferson. As soon as they got done everything, though, they lost track of their other member, who was, she went somewhere. I think I remember, but we'll get to her in a second. As Greta and Elijah went to leave the building, they were met with one Phil Castillo, who apparently is a member of the Mafia and apparently a member of the Elemental Table. As he stood down, looking up at them, there was a brief discussion about Elijah, or as Phil knows him, Mr. Daryl Lecht. And as Mr. Lecht owes Mr. Castillo a favor, Mr. Castillo awarded him with the knowledge that Ruby had gone with her family to Borneo. Now, with all of this information happening simultaneously between 117th Street with the gunfight, 116th Street with the knowledge and the acquisition and the meeting of Phil Castillo and Mr. Lecht, we turn our attention now simultaneously to 117th Street. Or wait, 115th Street, I believe.
No, I'm on 117. The gunfight was on 115. You're wrong,
Okay.
so you can't hurt me.
Okay, so anyway, we know where we are. 115th Street is where you are?
No, I'm on 117.
You went north, right? 117th Street. Okay, so on 117th Street, in 1933, the year of our Lord, in the borough of Harlem, a phone rang in a box that was just beside Sabella Ives. Sabella answered the phone with her gloved hand at the end of last episode, and she was greeted with a voice that she knows too well that said, "Well, hello, Miss Ives."
So quiet. Okay. I'm not saying that out loud. I'm very silent on the actual phone right now. Can I try to open the door behind me with my foot?
I will even let you say it's still open and it did not close behind you.
It did not close. Still very quiet. I want to look at the phone booth. Does it look like real brand spanking new, Greg?
It looks relatively new, sure. I mean, it's not. You got to remember, back in 1933, in most of the world, people were a little bit more considerate of the public works buildings than they perhaps they are now. I don't want to step on any toes or anything, but there wasn't any graffiti. It's clean. There is no cigarette butts
And
anywhere.
phones were new in general.
Phones were new in general, correct.
Sure.
Thanks for the help, Lindy.
It doesn't look like. Fine. Okay. Good.
If you want to roll a spot hidden, you can tell me what in particular you're looking for. Like, is this a fake phone booth?
Yep,
or is
that's
this,
what I'm looking for, Greg.
Okay, I connected the dots there subtly, but go ahead
I don't
and roll
look
me.
nervous. I'm not stalling.
It looks like a regular phone booth.
Oh, good. Great. Good. I'm glad. I'm just really glad that it looks that way. Thank you.
Yeah, you've seen a couple of these on the Lower East Side. I mean, it looks like it's right in line with the rest of them.
Okay. I hang up the phone.
Couple seconds go by.
Bam.
Ring, ring.
EFY, buddy.
Okay. Great. Can I do one more? Okay, it's still ringing.
Yeah, ring, ring. Just assume that so I don't have to make that annoying ring sound. That
It's really
continuing
good
to-
though. It's really. I think we could fill the whole episode with that.
Right. I mean, I've been asked to do that type of stuff before. But go ahead.
Yeah, what it sound like?
No. Stop it.
So people are still like running outside, right?
Yeah, it's calmed down a bit. That you see some emergency vehicles are starting to cruise down the street. You see, like a fire truck for whatever reason. There is an ambulance, and several squad cars are converging on the area.
They all look normal. They all look like normal, totally innocent emergency vehicles.
You can roll a spot hidden for me if you'd like.
Not good at it. Ooh, ooh.
In your expert opinion of emergency vehicles in the tri-state and greater New York area, they appear to be normal response emergency vehicles.
Cool, great, good. I'm glad. I'm just, trying to get a full picture of what's, happening.
Right. Ring, ring.
All right, I pick it up. Too curious.
You hear
Yeah.
a slight exhale. Miss Ives, what game are we playing here?
I'm not sure. I just, I think the connection must have been bad. How are you?
I'm fine. How are you?
Doing very well. Thank you so much for asking. Who is this again?
American humor is something that I have not grown fond of yet. Perhaps with enough time as part of the German Empire, we will, maybe I will become more appreciative of your noble brand of comedy.
Is there something I can help you with? See, I'm having a real busy day right now.
I know. Sounds like you're on your way somewhere.
No, I was just enjoying a nice stroll. I mean, I assume you would know where. Just a nice evening. What are you doing? Are you up to anything? Are you going somewhere?
Oh, I am everywhere.
Well, this has been very pleasant. If there's nothing that I can help you with, I should probably go. I'm very busy. Not that your company isn't pleasant, but I have some other people I think I'd rather be spending my time with, frankly.
Which leads me to my next question.
Have you asked a question yet?
I asked you how your day was, didn't I?
Oh, yes. Good.
I am,
good.
if nothing, a respectful man. Now,
Oh, I'm so sure.
have you figured it out yet, Miss Ives? How we are always one step ahead of you. How I am always one step ahead of you.
Well,
You, more than anyone, should be able to figure this out.
I have a few ideas, but if you'd like to enlighten me, I'd certainly listen.
Perhaps it is your Jack. His shady dealings, his untruths. Perhaps it is young Franklin Watson. Just a boy on an airfield. Maybe it is one of your Olympians. Maybe one of those in your closest confidence is telling me where to go.
So exactly why would you be telling me this? Are you just that helpful?
Of course, I want us to be friends, Miss Ives. I
You
think
have
that we
a
could...
funny way of showing it. Is that German humor I've heard so much tell about?
Well, depending upon where you catch me and when you catch me, you could say you are dealing with several different people. But today, I feel like helping you.
Well, exactly how? Just cryptic hints and trying to sow seeds of distrust? Doesn't seem very genuine.
It does not. Perhaps a show of good faith. If we work together, Miss Ives, I believe that we could achieve much, much more. But I will leave you with this. Your benefactor, your Jack, his last name is Kilgrave. Look it up. I think you'll be very interested in what you see. And the phone hangs up.
Good. I will start making my way back to the apartment. Not really smiling anymore.
Okay, as you kind of cradle the phone back up, which I'll give one more ring ring. It just it does that for whatever reason. Maybe somebody in chat asked for it. I don't know. So as you hang it back up and you out of the phone booth and you're walking back thinking about what's just transpired, we're going to cut now to Dr. Von Krause as she has just loosely stabilized the gunshot victim of the Nazi who had taken one in the
cussing
center
me out
mass.
in German. I'm like, this will only hurt a lot, but still. Just
Correct. So at this point, I need Dwight to make another Constitution check for me, please.
yeah, 'cause I'm gonna attend him next.
Pass. Hard success. I feel good.
You feel strong. You feel pretty good. That even though you're down some a couple gallons, you're all right.
I'm only losing pints of blood.
Right. You look over Greta, and you see that Dwight is leaning up against the side of
Yeah,
Seal.
we're worried about the German here.
Yeah, the Foster's building, and he is, other than being very similar to a pack animal with the amount of artillery he is currently carrying in the form of a Tommy gun, a grease gun, his sniper rifle, and his 1911, he is leaning up against the wall, and you see a darkening crimson stain down the front, right above his right hip. And Dwight, your companion at the automat and other places, is looking to be in a bad way.
Just a flesh wound. Just a flesh wound.
It appears you have sustained a sizable amount of blood loss.
Yeah.
Let me look at it.
Of course he lets her.
First aid or medicine?
I will
Greta?
do a first aid so I can medicine check it later. I read the rules.
You did.
I opened my player's handbook this week in preparation for. I was like, I should know more about healing.
I'll
So I will
take it.
first aid check him. Success.
A success. So that will give him
Instantly.
instantly
One hit point.
one hit point
And if
back.
I spend an hour with you, I get to make a medicine check.
I like it.
So you can get more HP.
Yeah.
As all of this is going on, Kate is sort of just pacing back and forth in front of everyone, and she's kind of mumbling to herself, and then you hear her say, oh, sweet Jesus and his Virgin Mama, that was incredible. Dang, we were so good. I mean, we were following some of Jack's boys, except he wasn't one of Jack's boys. He was some kind of Nazi, and then we chased him around, and he was still there, and I was going to sneak up on him, but then Mr. Burke came tearing around the corner. It was like high noon at the OK Corral. There's gunshots everywhere, and that was when Mr. Burke. Mr. Burke, are you okay? I mean, doctor, is he going to be all right?
I'm just like stuffing gauze into the wound and
Anyway,
like wrapping it around.
First one of them went down, and then two more of them got out of the car. One of them he had that big old machine gun, but I had this little beauty right here, and all I had to do was think, and boom, his head was gone. And then I shot the other one too, and then wait a second.
Listen,
Where's Miss Ives? Oh no! And at that point,
she went looking for you.
I can tell people I was saved by the great Kate O'Callahan.
Kate's already running the other direction from the direction that she went. And as she runs, she shouts over her shoulder, Mr. Sawyer, you're in charge until I get back. And she's gone.
Okay.
Elijah kind of grumbles to himself, and he's going to go walk out into the streets to direct police cars and talk to them, because obviously they're going to have some questions.
Yeah,
Sawyer,
I think we need to leave.
I have some questions for you once I am done stuffing Goss into the fight.
Okay, any questions and everything's going to have to wait as several things happen simultaneously. Sabella and Kate run into each other, not literally, but they meet each other as they...
But they don't go around the corner and go, oh, cute.
No, this is not an episode of Laverne and Shirley, so they actually stop before they run into each other. A car pulls up and Jack jumps out of the side. It is the Studebaker that has been retrieved from Staten Island, apparently. He sees you all and immediately starts ushering you into the car, and somebody comes and picks up the German, puts him on a stretcher, and puts him into an ambulance. As all of this is going on, and Elijah's kind of standing like, Strider, you said, he's out and directing traffic in the street, kind of waving people down. Elijah, you turn back to watch as everybody's kind of loading into the Studebaker and loading into the ambulance. And standing on the sidewalk is a little African-American girl, about 9 years old. And she seems to intently be looking at everything as she looks up at the building. And then she looks at you when she realizes that you're looking at her. And she says, "Can you see me?" And she disappears. We cut back to the Ives Esoterian and Antiquarian bookstore. Where's the other way around? I forget.
Good.
And as you all get there, you are loaded out. The German has been taken downtown to what is going to eventually be your new HQ at the Caduceus at the Meadham Building, downtown Manhattan, as the bookstore is getting a little bit too cramped now with everybody. But as of right now, you guys are all together, and you have a moment to ask each other any questions that you might have. And Jack is currently outside parking the Studebaker. He'll be in a moment.
Miss Sabella, I believe I would like to talk to you in private, if you don't mind.
Why?
That is a good question. I believe I am in need of your special kind of knowledge. I have something that no one else is gonna be able to help me out with. Don't worry, you can keep your clothes on. It's not one of them.
Kate looks like she's just about to say something, but then doesn't.
As a reminder to all of our viewers, sometimes when doing readings, Sabella has to take off her clothes.
And roll around whenever she's...
It's not weird. All right, Jack's still outside. Everyone, maybe we wait to debrief, maybe, Jack? Because just hang on before you talk to him. I'm going to just go with Mr. Sawyer. Yeah.
I retrieved my head from the icebox.
Good. All right, I'll go with Elijah.
Once a few steps away from everyone, none of Jack's loyal men around, or him, or anyone else. Look, your head thing you do, and you can see things. Does that work the other way around?
How do you mean?
Would it be possible for you to make me see something that ain't really there?
You mean lack of memory? Something you've forgotten?
Look, I've never seen this girl. I've never heard about her. Let me guess. I'm having a psychometry vision. She's about 9 years old. She is African American. She comes up to about yay high.
You saw Ruby
No,
Foster?
I'm not psychic, but yeah.
Where? When?
And not in the touchy feely, she's right there, I could have thrown her in the car kind of way, in the way that she was standing there one moment and then she was gone the next.
At this
That's-
moment, you feel fingers curl into your hand that's resting at your side as if someone's holding your hand, Elijah.
Elijah looks down. Does he see anything?
You can see me. And it's the girl again.
Elijah's always kept his composure, but he is suddenly right in front of you, just turns extremely white, starts shaking and sweating all over, except for his hand down by his side, which is grabbing onto nothing.
Is your hand gloved?
Yes, it is. It's always gloved.
Do you know who I am?
Ruby?
Yes. You can see me. Can you help me?
Elijah's looking down at his side, whispering to himself.
Yeah, Lauren, you see all of this from one side.
Mm-hmm.
That's you, Ruby?
It is. Who are you?
Miss Isabella, I'm not playing a con here.
I did not say you were. That sounds like maybe something like astral projection? Perhaps?
Dietrich's not in my head too, is he? Is that something he could do? Can he make me see things? Elijah's going to swallow and hold his breath and get down on his knees and look at this girl in the eye, but he's also trying to take in every detail about her and make a mental photograph.
You're seeing Ruby Foster right now.
Seeing, hearing, communicating with.
Can you ask her where she is? If this is real, which it might be, can you ask her where she is and if she's safe?
As soon as you kneel down and get on her level, she gets very close to you and you can tell that she is terrified. This requires no type of psychology roll, no type of spot hidden. There are tears pouring down her cheeks. She is, her lips and her neck and her chin are trembling, and she is a 9-year-old girl who is absolutely horrified. And when you kneel down, as Sabella is asking you these things about, and you're trying to look at her face, she just wraps her arms around your neck and squeezes you in one of the tightest hugs. Well, perhaps one of maybe the only hugs that Elijah has had in quite some time, as she just literally falls into your arms.
His arms wrap around thin air. Just, hey, we got lots of real good people here, the very best, and we're all looking out for you, and we're gonna help you out.
She doesn't pull away, and you hear kind of into your neck, you hear her say, help me, Mom and Daddy are sick. I don't know what my aunt's doing. I don't even know her, but you have to help us. Mom and Daddy are very sick.
Yeah. We are. You're.
I can't
we're
stop it.
On our way as we speak.
Where is she?
You
Elijah?
are doing your best, and you've done a good job. But we're on our way right now. I promise. You don't gotta worry about that.
Hurry.
Elijah, where is she?
Elijah's quiet and just tries his best to comfort her. He's not sure if she's gonna suddenly disappear again, but he's gonna do his best in the meantime.
You feel her starting to go, as it's almost like you're holding a jacket that all of a sudden doesn't have anybody in it, as it just kind of, her form collapses in on itself and she vanishes in your arms. But you can still feel the warmth of her hands around your neck, and you can still see the spots of tears on your shirt, and Sabella can see them too.
Ooh. Elijah?
Okay, I know this. I know what this looks like, but why would I have any reason to lie to you right now?
I did not say you were, Elijah.
This minute.
Elijah.
Good.
Shush.
Good.
1 second. Just. It's gonna be all right. I don't think anyone is messing with you. I can see tears on your shirt. Did she say anything about what was wrong or where she was specifically?
Elijah thinks for a moment and pulls out a piece of paper, the little note from a sister to a brother in his pocket that he got at the apartment. And he hands it out to you, Sabella. They're not gonna believe me if I say this, but how about you tell them she's in Borneo? Tell them you had a vision or whatever it is you do.
I think I might just have a real vision right now if you would permit me to touch your shirt.
At this time, being a kind keeper, I will remind Sabella that you have done this quite a bit recently. And to do another reading is going to cost you actual health.
Okay.
Okay. Are you going to go ahead and do it?
This, that won't be necessary, Miss Ives. I have it on very good information. In fact, the best. That is where she is. And I think our glorious captain will be more willing to listen to you. And he will, with gloved hands, fold up the little piece of paper in your hands, and he kind of turns away and walks back to the group of people, but won't take his eyes off of his shirt. He's still visibly shaking.
Well, fine if you won't let me, but I'm not lying to the rest of them, so I shove the note back in your hands as I pass you. Do it yourself.
Okay, so as you guys are having this moment, Jack has re-entered just at the beginning of the conversation between Elijah and Sabella. Enters into the room where we have Dwight, who is stabilized, Kate, who is excited, and Greta, who has a severed human head.
She's frustrated. She's been trying to dissect things all day and read samples for the whole time she's been here and hasn't been able to. So she's just like, head.
Jack comes in and it talks loud enough for everybody to hear, but he pulls into proximity with Kate. And he says, I think that's the best thing we've done yet.
I think it's the best thing we've done yet, too. But I think we're back on the road again. Jack, we've got... I think we might know where she is, or at least we've got a lead.
Well, that's great. Where?
Well, and she looks around for the rest of the team members who I'm wondering if are making their way back from their little conversation.
Well, it just so happens that right at this time, Elijah and Sabella walk in.
Elijah is strutting, looking confident and happy as always.
Is this close to saying Borneo? Flame guy told us.
But you did not, Lindy.
Yep, I was so close. I was like, she's too fresh.
Yes, Elijah walks in looking totally composed. He has dampness on his shirt, but he has a big grin. He's, oh, hey, everyone. Hey, quick, Jack. Are you working with the Nazis? Quick, I need quick answers.
No. Why'd I be working with the Nazis?
I'm gonna do a
Psychology.
psychology roll just to see how he's taking that questioning. That's a success.
He's hiding something.
Mr. Kilgore, what is it that you are hiding from us?
Wait.
We are
I
very
never
good
said
information
it.
gatherers.
You don't
Yeah.
know that.
Yeah.
I don't think you know that.
Wait, unless he
was
does.
Yeah.
Was that not to us?
No,
No, that
I
was
thought that was being told to
Miss
the group.
Ives.
I'm
Just
going
yeah,
Oh.
Sabella hasn't said it yet.
Yeah.
Oh, okay. My bad.
So at this point, when you say that when you just ask Jack, of course I'm not working with the Nazis. I hate the Nazis. Jerry and me go way back, don't we, Mr. Burke? And he kind of nods over to Dwight, knowing that Dwight also served in the Great War.
I'm not a fan of the Hun. You know this.
I know this,
Jack.
and you know that I'm not as well.
Jack. Hi, Jack. I
Miss
think
Ives.
we just need a little more time. Just a little more time, and then we'll be ready to go and, get Ruby. But I
Where are we
think
going?
we will tell you. I mean, we have a pilot here. She'll be fine. I just need a little more time to figure out exactly where,
Well, let me get everything ready for you. I can
No,
scramble
think-
Frank
I
and get
think
the
we've got
duckling ready.
I think we've got everything that we need. We just need a little private time, Olympian to Olympian, etc., to talk about it. If that's all right with everyone.
Jack?
I smile at everyone.
Kate kind of draws Jack aside just a bit and says,
What the hell's
Look.
going on here, Kate?
well, Jack, I'll tell you what, there's a lot going on, and I'm not quite sure I'm ready to tell you about all of it. Here's what I want you to do. Get the duckling ready to go. Oh,
Right?
and wake up your boy, Franklin. Tell him to get Calamity Jane ready to go as well.
I will.
I would expect us to leave relatively quickly. In the meantime, I think it would be wise if you gave us an opportunity to sort this out.
I thought we were celebrating a victory. We got ahead of these Nazis.
We'll celebrate a victory when that little girl's all right. I think
understand.
I think we might know where she is, but Jack,
All you need to do is tell me, Kate. I can get everything ready for this.
well then get it ready.
I
Jack?
need to know where you're going. I can't just send you
Jack,
somewhere.
you don't need to know where we're going. Tell them to fuel up the planes and get them ready to fly, and I'll let you know when I'm ready.
Jack, why do you seem so confused?
Everyone, he is fine. He's confused. We're confused. I think Dr. Von Kraus seems focused. Is there anything you want to say, Dr. Von Kraus, before we have our, little
Yeah.
Olympian private meeting?
Jack,
Doctor?
Jack.
I want a lab. I was promised science. This is a kitchen table.
You want You want a lab? I can get
Yeah.
a lab.
I want a lab.
I don't know. I won't tell you what I thought you said, but okay. Yeah, a lab, sure. Yeah, we can get you a lab.
Lab, yeah. And perhaps also if you're going to be, all of us are going to be flying, then a portable lab installed on the ugly duckling.
Does anybody understand?
Jack.
Jack takes Kate takes Jack by the arm and starts walking him toward the door of the bookstore.
Well, hold on, Kate. Jack needs to equip us for any flights we're going. You seem very confused,
Right.
Jack.
I don't know what the hell's going on, Mr. Burke.
Could you just come back in like 10 minutes? Could you just come back in 10 minutes?
I think she
This-
wants girl.
This is my
time.
store, and I would like you to exit and then come back. All right?
Fine, I'll come back in 10 minutes. All right.
But before he goes, I run up to him. I try to kiss him on the cheek.
He pulls back when you come in. If you want to force it,
Oh, I
I'm going to
don't-
have to make you roll a melee roll.
Just trying to get him.
I think that might be a first ever in Pulp Cthulhu, a melee
melee
roll to
kiss.
kiss somebody on the cheek.
A melee kiss.
This is
I'm
this
trying
is
to
Pulp
make it
Cthulhu.
look like I just need privacy, and it's not anything against him.
It's the same thing as like a headbutt, only with your lips. So we're gonna go with a melee roll.
I'm a terrible person. Melee? Is that?
Yes.
It should be
Fighting
fighting
brawl.
brawl.
Fighting brawl.
Yeah.
Okay.
Fisticuffs with your face, specifically your lips.
Okay.
Let's see what we got.
They do have a crit. I'm going to.
You're going to do nothing because you did not declare it before
Oh,
you tried.
Shit. Oh shit! He's scared, y'all. He's scared. Good.
So
Okay.
he pulls back and you get close to him, but he kind of moves his hand up and presses it like right against your collarbone area, like on your shoulder, and kind of keeps you back a bit. And
Shoot.
I don't know what the hell happened to you people up in Harlem, but just get your shit about you. I'll be back in 10 minutes.
All right. Bye, Jack.
As
Dwight
he's
wants
stepping
more
out,
equipment. That's what he's talking about. He wants grenades.
It doesn't matter because he is going out the door now, and I'm
Yeah,
sweating it.
he's walking
as
out.
Jack steps out, Elijah's gonna wave to him and just, hey, don't think anything of it, friend. I ask everyone that. And he gives him a little wink, using all of his subtle skill and all of his ability to try to instill a sense of uncertainty in Jack.
Roll a fast talk for me. How's that?
Why is that a fast talk?
How about
Like,
a charm?
no, I don't even want to roll one.
How about a charm? Charm then. Since
I can
it's like
do
an
that.
anti-charm, right?
It's the anti-charm. Oh,
That's a hard success. Yeah.
Ooh, nice.
Okay. He looks at you for a second, smiles, and then the smile falters. And he smiles again, and it falters, and he walks out, and he's just kind of back and forth, ebb and tide, as he doesn't know what in the hell is going on.
Good.
He's gone.
Okay.
Dwight hasn't
Wait.
trusted him since the beginning. Just
All right, everyone. Shush your pretty mouths, and please follow me. And I start walking to the back room.
Kate follows immediately.
I shut my pretty mouth and follow along.
Thank you.
I take my head and follow along.
Great.
I guess I
Not stopping work for this.
stumble my blood-soaking, injured body, and I fall.
You're not dripping on my floor, are you?
No,
Hey,
he's
I,
I
stopped.
might
stuffed
do.
a lot of
I'm
gauze
not
in
quite
it.
sure. I
I
mean,
stuffed a whole lot of gauze.
a lot of nonsense is going on.
All right. I retrieve all after they're like by the door. I go and retrieve all the keys. And does my door look interfered with? Does it look like it always is?
You can roll a spot hidden for me. You mean your secret back door?
Yes.
Yeah, you can roll a spot hidden for me.
Fail. Totally.
Looks good.
Great. All my
can ask
keys
your-
are in their spots.
You can ask your boy.
Mhm.
All my keys. Okay, great. I unlock the door and I usher everybody in.
This is not some sort of. This is.
It's fine. It's just my private space.
Fraulein Ives, that does not comfort me.
Just get in. Get in. If everybody goes in, I will close the door behind us.
It's an American custom, Dr. Greta.
Oh,
Miss Ives, what is this all about?
Okay. All right. All right. So glad everyone's all right, first of all.
As Dwight bleeds in the corner.
Oh, don't bleed on my pillows. All right.
Not all right.
Well, you
It's
know,
for the
alive. So while y'all were getting your gunfight on and your friend or whatever the two of you were doing in the apartment,
she's just gonna look over at Sawyer and be like,
you weirdos. What are you? I got no one panic. I just got a little phone call from a friend. That's a lie. I'm a bad liar. From a person that we all know who may or may not have implied that Jack is not having ours or our great country's best interests at heart.
We know this. To me, I know this.
Miss Ives, what are you talking about?
Who was this friend? I do not have any friends.
We're your friends.
Miss Ives.
Sorry. Jeez, Katie.
The 5 of us are friends. We need to make quick decisions.
Oh, okay.
Mr. Callahan.
So I'm not sure yet. Oh, this is so stupid. I got a phone call from that Nazi, Mr. Dietrich.
Miss Ives, what did he say?
Oh, just sowing unrest and distrust, which has worked, but maybe that's not such a bad thing. Just talking about how the Nazis beat us, like they beat us this morning when there's no real good way that they should have. They as we were heading to the apartment, they must have been flying out to the place where we're supposed to go. So it just seems like they just know a little too much for my comfort, and I don't think it's stuff that they necessarily should know. The timing was real strange.
Oh, but you said he was trying to sow distrust. What did he say?
He said that he implied that both Jack and maybe Franklin were basically not to be trusted.
I am a big fan of mistrust, sowing seeds of havoc, but I have to admit that I have had my own concerns about our friend Jack. Anyone that steals you away with threats of blackmail and the sort, they ain't normally got your best interests at heart.
But I've seen inside his head, and he lent me before.
I don't trust him at all, and have not since the beginning.
But I have a good reason to trust him, almost.
For what reason?
I promised I wouldn't tell.
You need to pick a side then, Miss Ives. Us or him?
I know you can't trust Jack, but you can trust us. I mean, we got in the shot together.
Mr. Burke, and Kate walks right up to him. I don't believe that you are the one who is determining what side what person is on. I need you to stand down. Are you in shock or something? Because
no, he's fine. Katie, he's fine.
He might be in shock. He has lost good bits of blood. I need to spend about an hour with him.
All right. I don't know why I believe him. It's really stupid to believe him. I just, what if we don't tell Jack or Franklin where we're going? Whoops. And if we, it might turn out better that way.
Well, it is a strange place to find myself in agreement with Mr. Sawyer, but I have to agree. I have some of my own experiences with Jack that lead me to question whether he has our best interests in mind.
Really? He just came to save me. He didn't do anything else.
He promised me a lab and lots of funding and
he was late,
defection to the United States, but I do not believe this is a typical
he sent us into places ill-equipped.
Expected more paperwork.
Not ready for things. He's confused half the time.
Mr. Burke, would you be quiet and let the doctor work on you?
Soldier Boy is right, I say. We are not on the Nazi side, Callahan, but
you've been given the choice of command, but I'm not going to die for somebody who doesn't quite know what they're doing right now.
God damn it, Mr. Burke, you will die if I ask you to, and that is enough out of you. Is that clear?
I think this is probably what Mr. Dietrich wanted, so could we all just get along?
We are not.
Just everyone, I think it's very easy to test. Maybe if we just ask him. One thing
I will not die for anything.
There are too many sides here. The Nazis have a side. Jack has a side. Everyone has a side. But that does not matter, for we are on our own side. Right. We are friends and we are a side. And I don't care about your petty politics. There's a little girl that needs saving right now, and that is more important than our captain's rules about your bleeding side. We got to get going.
Yes.
Mr. Sawyer, I like you more moment by moment. What happened to you?
Ugh.
He's been crying.
Now, all right.
The
I
tears
think.
are dry on your shirt.
Oh fuck. All right. I think that we can. I think we know exactly what we need to do, and we can begin to lay the plans in place. I'd like to see us. I'd like to see us in the air by tomorrow morning for Borneo.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Is there something else you wanted to say, Miss Ives?
No, Miss O'Callahan, I think that sums it up.
I'm not quite sure that we have all the information that we need in order to be able to find the probable location of Miss Ruby Foster.
Right.
And that means that we probably have a little bit more research to do tonight.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, we have time for research.
Doctor, you have, I think what you have time for is making sure that our good Mr. Burke is back on his feet.
I will not. Dwight is not going to perish. He will recover fully.
Well, we
Miss
should still take.
Bella,
Uh-huh.
you know books and learnings and libraries and that stuff.
Mhm.
Would it be possible for you to look into this religious organization and any goings-ons in Borneo? I have a feeling if we find them, we might find the little girl.
Sure. Do you think that the
Caduceus?
right, the sister though,
Yeah,
I
that
wonder
one.
if she's there with them or somewhere slightly different. So I don't know if there's a way. Do you still have the Bible?
Yes, I do.
Great.
I always keep one on me.
Oh.
Great. I meant the specific Bible from the Foster department.
He hands it over.
Oh, thank you. All right. Yes. I'll see if I can find anything out through many means of things. Okay. When Jack comes back, maybe we don't say anything.
Miss Ives, I think that is a wise decision. I'll have a word with Jack when he comes back. And then I think it might be best if you and Mr. Sawyer and I headed over to have a conversation with the folks at Caduceus. Dr. Von Krause, once you've stabilized Mr. Burke and make sure he gets some rest. And after that, prepare your things for departure. There's certainly going to be some research that's going to need to be done along the way.
Well, at least as long as I have equipment, I will not complain.
Well, I will say a few words to Jack. I'm sure you'll have the very best that America has to offer at this time in the evening, and with 8 hours before we depart.
All right. Okay. Thank you. Right, I am going to change the course.
Thank you.
Kate heads back out toward the to the door that we came in through and back out into the bookstore.
Elijah's going to go with her.
Craig's rolling stuff.
As soon as you open the door, Jack is standing in the doorway, and he has a cigarette hanging from his mouth. And it's whoever the first person is that opens the door, he locks eyes with that person, if that person is Kate, and says, "What the hell's going on?"
Jack, let's you and I have a little conversation, shall we?
Let's have a talk here in front of everybody.
We got a lot of stuff to do, Jack. We got, time's a ticking. So,
Miss Ives, you do that then. You know what you need to do. You do that. Kate and I are going to have a conversation with him.
all right. Have fun.
And I guess Greta and Dwight are here too, because I just immediately was like, all right, we're going to take care of this.
Dwight has not trusted Jack since the beginning.
What is going on?
Well,
I thought we were past this.
Elijah's not going to say anything during this conversation. He is just going to let Kate talk, but he's going to be observing everything Jack's saying and watching his face, watching his body language, all that.
You thought we were past this? Is that what you said, Jack?
Kate, we just had a great success. You're in charge. Everything was working the way it should have. Let me help you all. Let me get you where you need to go and get the things that you need getting to get there. This is ridiculous.
Jack, when you brought us together, you told us that you were not one to wield terror as a tool to get us to do what you want.
Am I doing that now?
You did that, Jack. You knew exactly what would scare me the most, and you used it to get me to fall into line. Even when I told you that I'd be a good girl for you, even when I said it wasn't necessary, you just had to reach out. Now, I don't know why you did that, Jack.
I needed you to trust me, Kate.
Well.
And that was the only way that you were going to really trust me.
Well, then you miscalculated, Jack.
What do you need me to do?
Here's what I need you to do. I need you to let the airfield know that those aircraft need to be prepped and ready to go.
Where, Kate?
West.
I won't tell
Jack.
West? That's pretty goddamn general.
Why would you need to know any more than that?
So I can help you. Wherever you're going, I can prep. I can get boots on the ground. I can have someone there to meet you. I can have vehicles or supplies. Things that we might not be able to get aboard the Duckland or Calamity Jane before they take off.
Jack, may I remind you of the stubborn, bull-headed people you've put together. Though we are stubborn, you said yourself we are the best in the world. To gain trust, you need to show a little trust. I think we know what's going on. I think we got this.
Roll a persuasion check.
That is an extreme success, finally.
Jack, for a moment, his eyes kind of go to everybody that's still present, Sabella not being there. He looks back and forth among all the Olympians, and his eyes kind of go into the middle distance, and then they finally drop, and he steps back, giving way in the doorway, and he says, "Oh, maybe this is how we beat them then. Maybe it never did include me." And he steps back.
Is he heading for the door?
No, he just stepped away, kind of giving the path to you guys to leave the room.
We have seen that you've been infiltrated, your organization. We learned that well enough today, but we're gonna be back, friend. And this isn't the last time you're seeing any of us.
Let's hope not, Mr. Sawyer. He kind of pulls his hat down a little bit and walks off towards the front door.
Can I follow him?
Can you follow him?
Uh-huh.
Sure, yeah.
Yeah, I just have to ask him one question. I'll make it quick.
Yeah, Kate follows after as well.
Oh, hi, Kate. Jack.
He turns around but doesn't say anything.
I just need to ask you one question. And since it's just Kate here, I think it's okay. So, what I saw when you grabbed my hand on the Duckland, I saw you kill Mr. Dietrich. And then you sent us to the Akron, and you didn't blink your eyes twice, saying that he was on there.
Kate looks over at Sabella as she's saying this.
Did you? You must have known, Jack. And you didn't tell us.
Am I done here?
You're really not gonna respond to that?
I knew he was there, Miss Ives.
No,
And
I know you.
I know that if I had gone there, I would have killed him.
No, that's not really the point. I saw you kill him, and then you didn't react when you told us that he was alive. You didn't tell us anything. You didn't give us any warning about what he was. And you must have known something.
I told you they were there. From the Graf Zeppelin. I knew he was there.
And it didn't strike you as odd that he was alive, Jack? After you killed him.
I have seen things, Miss Ives. And I believe if you have seen that far into me, you've seen them as well. I'll trust nothing. And I guess, and he looks at the two of you, I guess you've learned from my mistakes. And he walks out the front door.
Kate follows him out the door.
Yeah,
He keeps walking.
I'm gonna go do my other stuff.
As the door closes behind us and he's walking toward the car, Kate comes up and she holds the door from closing before, assuming he's trying to close it to get in.
Mm-hmm.
And she leans in and says, Borneo, Jack. We're going to Borneo. If you have contacts on the ground, prep them for us, but be very careful. Your organization has almost certainly been infiltrated. And then she leans in a little bit closer and she says, and Jack, if one of these people gets hurt, if one hair on their head is out of place when we come back, I'm holding you responsible. You get your shit squared away here. We'll go take care of Ruby Foster.
Miss O'Callahan, I will get everything ready for you. I will do it myself. I'll tell no one. Me, Franklin, it's all that'll know that you're going to Borneo. But as for these people having one hair on their head harmed, need I remind you, Miss O'Callahan, that's not my job anymore. That's yours. And he closes the door and drives off.
And Kate walks back into the bookstore.
Okay, so what would you guys like to do now that you have some time to prep for the 3:15
I'm gonna give
to
Dwight
Borneo?
some band-aids.
Okay, give me a medicine roll to see what you can...
Heal me.
Extreme!
Extreme bandaging.
I'll take it.
Like, do you prefer morphine for your preferred form of pain relief?
That's for shots.
Shot of morphine.
Okay, so because of your high score, that gives... Is it 1d4? It is, right?
I think so.
I'm at 20 right now.
Well, you get another one.
Can you not let me roll my own medicine checks? God,
Yeah.
Greg.
Yeah, Greg.
Should be able to.
Fine, go ahead. Roll your
Roll it.
1d4.
If I roll a 1, I don't feel bad about it. If you roll a 1, I'm like, damn it, if I had rolled, it would have been better.
Stop letting him roll things.
Yeah.
They're much better.
Hey,
Let's go to Borneo.
thanks for the host, Mike.
I want to go
We'll
to Borneo.
cross the
That's all I wanted
streams,
to
buddy.
do.
There you go. You got 4. You're fine. Everything's fine.
Okay.
And you can heal your normal daily heal stuff.
Stop trying to kill me.
I'm
have a-
everybody's friend. Let's figure out what we want to do here, kids.
Sure, Greg.
I am going to get, like, there's
You
no...
guys, Jack is Greg's self-insert OC. Watch out.
We were nice about it.
We were super nice. We were so nice.
Thank you, Doctor.
I have a couple things I want to do.
Of course. Now I'm
Okay.
getting to work. Greta is going to try to... She's going to be like, do I have a lab? Is there a lab here? Is there any equipment here that I can use?
In my
There's none in the
occult
bookstore. No, there's none in the bookstore. There is some down where Einstein is currently located at the Meadham Building in downtown Manhattan.
She will go to where Einstein is and use the lab equipment and start analyzing some of the samples she got before they deteriorate too much.
Okay, so she's going there with the stuff that she got from the warehouse,
Yes.
correct?
From the warehouse and from Bolivia.
I think there might be a bunch of Olympians that are going to the Meadham Building.
Yep.
It's been a while since I
Okay.
have seen Einstein.
Welcome to the party,
I'm at Seven
Mint Magician. Okay, so who all's going down to the Meadham Building? I see by hands.
Three ladies. The three
I'm
ladies.
saying Sabella Ives hopefully has a higher library use skill than me, so we should probably do a little bit of research on our way there. Swing by the either the library or the church nearby or whatever.
I'm headed straight there.
Yeah.
So why
I
don't we go
can-
wherever the doctor goes, probably, because he's
Okay.
Because he's bleeding to death, right?
Yeah.
All right.
Good plan.
Yeah, we can stop off. I just have to get to Caduceus before we leave.
Okay, so I'll give you guys time so we can kind of figure out how much library use you can have during this time. Kate originally mentioned 8 hours, so I think that's a good number to stick with. Let's stick with 8 hours until Wheels Up. So you have 8 hours. I'm going to take about an hour for travel. If there's people that want to go to the New York Public Library, you may go to the New York Public Library. People that want to go straight to Caduceus, that's fine. As Lindy knows, any type of research requires or is used in 3-hour increments. So I will allow anybody that's doing research to do 2 rounds of it, whether it be the samples that Greta wants to do, or if it wants to be background information on Borneo.
I think I have some kind of thing that helps with that, but I just gotta find it.
I
I
believe
have
you do
something
too.
that helps with it, but it can only be used once a week.
Wait,
I don't think I
got
packed
it.
that one today, actually.
Yeah.
No,
I
I
think
did.
you
I
get
didn't pack.
advantage on
I
that,
did. I didn't pack my
Lauren.
strength one. The super stock.
It's called Quick Study. I don't know if that.
Oh.
But it's called Quick Study.
Right. You so how we're gonna work whoa! Mike just donated $20 and I can't read it. Mike,
I hope it's good.
You haven't changed it still?
No, because I thought we'd be in Borneo by this time. What are you talking about?
Oh.
Mike, thank
is
you
what
so
you
much,
get for
brother.
sowing
Put in
seeds.
chat.
Yeah, you
what
don't know us
wanted
that
to-
well, do you?
I actually had every confidence that you'd still be here, but Mike, put in chat what that was for,
Shit, guys,
buddy,
we better
because maybe I can refresh and figure it out. But
It was the ability to make Elijah be able to smite things.
add to the horror. See, that's Mike. Mike says
No.
make
Oh,
it
son of a
worse.
bitch. Why did I know that?
Damn it, Mike.
Not
Love
cool.
it. Oh, I love it. Love it. Love it. Love it. Okay.
The library monster.
I have no clue who Mike
Don't
is.
say
Thank
that.
you.
Don't give him ideas.
Okay. So, already, quick study. We're going to enable you to do an extra one. We'll drop it down to 2 hours for that. So you'll
Okay.
be able to do 3 rounds of library research. And if we want 2 for medicine checks for Greta, I will allow you to progress your research on the things that you're looking at.
Okay. On my the samples that I have, or on my serums, or both.
Well, you let me. You can't do both, but you can do 1 and 1 or 2 and 2. or-
Okay. I'll do 1 and 1.
Okay. Give me
Okay,
what's
so-
the first one for?
The first one I'm going to analyze because these are the oldest samples. I'm going to analyze the samples I took from Herr Dietrich at the pod, the brain, liver, and blood samples that I took.
Right.
So that's going to be my first one.
Okay.
All right. Medicine check.
Yep.
Success.
Okay, that is a
Yeah.
success.
Yep.
And as this is the first leg of the research chain with this, I will let you know that upon initial inspection, it appears that this tissue, while being relatively young, carries a date of what you estimate to be approximately 150 years old.
Okay. That is really interesting. Okay.
Who's what tissue is this?
Herr Josef Dietrich. Okay, and because
One of them.
Einstein's here, right? Because we're in his space.
He is.
We've spoken before because he's from Germany.
Yeah.
He's
Yes.
spoken. We're gonna be speaking exclusively in German, probably because it's our
All
native
Germans
tongues.
have talked to each other at some point.
Yeah,
Obviously.
It's a very small. It's only the same size as Pennsylvania.
Dwight would leave the room.
it is, and we went to Munich University, both of us. So, yeah, we're gonna be just talking in German. And I'm gonna have him help me with my Wahrheitsbrücken.
Biology is not exactly my forte, but I will certainly help you with any type of formula.
It is an interesting formula. I think could be very beneficial to our interrogation of certain peoples. That's the organization basically.
Oh, I see what you are doing here.
It's not
all of
necessarily
the-
biology here. There's a little bit of physics involved in there.
I see.
Yeah.
Fascinating.
I think that your input could be valuable.
Okay, there's nary a chalkboard space without some type of scribbling on it within 15 minutes. Because Einstein's help and you have gone down to Caduceus to do this, I will enable you to roll with advantage for a medicine check, and this medicine check needs to be hard or better.
Okay. Advantage. Oh, hard.
You believe that you have made a very significant first step in the progress of this bioserum.
Awesome.
And also because you have included Einstein in this, while he is not necessarily a specialist in this field, he will continue to work on this in his free time.
Oh,
so
okay.
it will aid you in future roles to refine this. If
Awesome.
we're looking in video game terms, Einstein's like that NPC that you can have working on
He's the
stuff while
crafty
you're out
NPC,
doing fun. Yeah.
Awesome.
Yeah.
Yeah. Next time I come back, we're gonna start on my weird science gadget.
Ooh, that sounds fascinating.
I have been
too.
looking into some research done by Nikola Tesla. Are you familiar with him?
I am.
I believe that when we return from Borneo, then perhaps we could do another collaboration.
Sounds electrifying.
Indeed.
Okay. Anywho.
Yeah, and as far as Dwight goes, because he did go with her, on the way there, she probably would have asked, "Are you my bodyguard now?" Dwight, I'm okay with this.
I'm hurt, but apparently I am.
And it's also probably the most emotion and excitement you've seen from her is in the lab. Like, there's still not a lot of it, but it's more like changes in pitch and tone of voice and maybe some eyebrow expressions, you know.
Dwight pays little to no mind to that.
At one point during the research, Einstein disappears and comes back into the lab, and he has a white button-up shirt, and he holds it up against Dwight for a moment, and he goes, "That should be about your size," and he hands it to you because you're still like covered in blood on the one side of you.
Thank you. And Dwight's just cleaning his guns, getting ready to do what he needs to do.
He's got a lot of them to clean. You better start now.
Oh, this is disconcerting, but fine. Okay. Alrighty, so the library use, what are you guys looking for specifically? You can go for one thing until you pass it, or you can try 3 different things, and I'll tell you if you pass one or whatever
Okay.
you'd like to do.
I know Caduceus and Borneo, specifically, like where they are, what they do there. Claire Foster, I don't know if there's any way I can find out anything. If I have to go to Caduceus and ask someone,
Sure.
I want to do that. And I would kind of like to call that phone number.
Sure.
Look at his
I love it.
face.
And I've got 2 of these. So can I back Sabella up on the first 2?
Okay, so you want to just look for additional information about Caduceus and Borneo and Claire Foster.
Yes,
Yep.
and then I wanted to pick something up from Caduceus, but that can wait till later.
Sure. Okay. Let's do the first roll for each of you, and this would be the Caduceus and Borneo roll.
Okay, so this library use.
Yes, please.
Okay. Ooh, good on you.
Success.
Success.
Okay, here's what you guys both learned during your first 2 or 3 hours respective of study. It's that, yes, Caduceus does in fact have a aid station in Borneo. It is, if you're familiar with the shape of the island, it's in like the northeast quadrant of the island. Currently, the section of it occupied by or controlled by or governed by the British Empire. Also, as you're looking through there and just doing general research, you realize that there is recent information, and by recent, I mean within the past like 4 or 5 days, just fresh enough to still be in like teletype and things like that, that there has been some type of plague outbreak in the same section of Borneo. The first thing that has come through from the local British health officials says that they believe it is some form of advanced hepatitis. They're calling it the Yellow Death.
Are you sure there wasn't like a resort there? Because that's
There was, but they all died from the Yellow Death.
God damn.
Ooh, this is gonna be so exciting,
Okay.
guys.
Oh, I thought of a third one, by the way.
Okay, well, let's go to what the second one was. Claire Foster,
Claire
correct?
Foster. Yeah,
Okay.
Claire Foster.
Each of you roll for her.
Oh,
Kate,
fail
fail.
for Kate.
Yeah, you guys look around and you can't find anything specifically about Claire Foster other than what you already know, that public records indicate that she was in fact the sister of Ruby's father, Paul Foster,
Yeah.
the Reverend Paul Foster.
Okay.
You can spend your last 2 hours to further research that, or you can pick something else, but this will literally take you guys up until the point where you're going to have to head towards the airstrip. Or you can take your last 2 hours, Sabella, and go to Caduceus if there was something there that you said you wanted to pick up.
Yeah, there is. Oh, damn it.
Here, someone else pick it up for you.
Yeah, could I is it possible to just like
There's
call
phones.
Greta?
Oh, me. Okay.
Can you call Greta? Sure, you can call Greta.
Yeah.
Just
Okay.
call Einstein's lab.
I'll do that. Yeah. Can you connect me to
I'll
Mr.
go
Einstein?
get it. I have nothing to do.
Yeah. Then I will
Hello?
I guess then I will look up. Yeah, I'll call Greta and she can pass it on to Dwight what I want. And
Hello, this is Frau von Kraus.
hi Greta. Dr. Von Kraus, hi.
Guten Abend.
There's some stuff that we brought back from Bolivia that
Yeah.
I was told I could take a look at, and I'm wondering if you could bring it to the airport when we meet up.
I will attempt.
Not the woman. You can leave her be because
Oh.
she's sleeping, so we should let her alone and let her nap.
Fine. I have enough other things to research. You want the papers?
Yes. There's also a staff. I don't know if they'll let
Papers,
you take that,
please.
but I could do more research on the plane since it's gonna be a long ride.
Yeah.
Got to keep the mind occupied, right, Dr. Von Kraus?
Yeah, the mind is a powerful weapon for outline knives.
Yeah.
Oh, I agree.
Hi, Mr. Einstein.
This is wonderful.
Alrighty. I'm gonna stay here and I'll see you at the airport, Dr. Von Kraus.
Auf Wiedersehen. Click.
Bye. Oh, bye.
Okay, and real quick, we'll finish up with Greta. Yeah. Greta, when you go to pick up the
I
items...
just told Dwight to do it.
Okay, Dwight, when Dwight goes to pick up
the papers, I'm taking some equipment with me.
Einstein directs you where to go. It's kind of down the hall. It's on the Caduceus. They kind of given Project Athena one of the middle floors, and as you're walking down towards the room that was indicated, as you're passing by, you look in and you see several people in white coats with clipboards that are standing over a bed that's kind of raised in the middle of a room, and you see the woman that from Bolivia. She's beneath a sheet, but she has like things hooked over to her. There's different cuffs that are on her. Back in this day, there weren't so much like pads or electrodes, but you see that there are tubes connected to her. There are different kind of very early versions of IVs and things like that.
Is there a brainwave scanner?
No, we don't have any of those. There's a guy.
Ah,
There's a couple
in
people.
In January of 1933, a German scientist invented them, and it
Who
should.
sees this? Me?
That's my
haven't-
girl.
We
Am I
haven't gotten
seeing
it
this?
across the
Am I
pond
seeing
yet.
this nonsense? Who's seeing this?
You're seeing this, Dwight.
It is you.
Okay, I'll go back. You know what? I see this. This is who we found in Bolivia.
Mhm.
Correct.
Correct.
Come on.
I'm
Okay.
gonna go back and grab the doctor and say, Doc, come look at this real fast. I know you're doing whatever you're doing.
But you help me pack this up when we leave, then. All right.
Yes,
I
just
will
come
go.
back and look at this and see what you can assess of this, because
All right.
you know Dwight definitely recognizes that this person was found in a whatever we found her in some sort of tomb. Somebody should be looking at this that he trusts. So he'll go back and grab her.
Okay.
Okay, it takes just a few moments, and Dwight leads you to the room where the Tyrannish is being observed by everyone. You do notice that there is a bellows contraption to the side that's measuring respiration. There are
Do
several
we
different.
recognize anybody in this room, or are they just people that we've literally just met?
Well, you haven't met them, but you've never seen them before.
I mean,
We're
yeah.
about to.
Right, correct.
Yeah, I have a lab coat on.
Yeah, the room with the equipment, or the room with the scrolls, the book, the staff, and everything else that was recovered in Bolivia is next door. You are able to take with you 2 of the scrolls. They will not release the book. They will not release the staff, but you have access to them at any time in Caduceus HQ to research them.
I was about to say they will release anything that I want them to release it to me.
At this moment, you probably could, but there is security on site and
Security.
Pshaw, right?
I can find some.
Not worried about that.
Yeah. I'm gonna walk into that room while he's grabbing the papers.
Okay, you're gonna walk into the Tyrannish room?
Yeah, it's a party in there.
Right. As you walk in, everybody looks and they look at you, and their eyes narrow a bit. They're not speaking to one another, but
Any spot hidden I can make.
yeah, you can roll me one if you want. They don't stop you, and they don't prevent you from looking at any of the readings or any of the the research that's kind of been like hanging at the bottom of her bed.
I read it all.
Apparently, well, I tell you what, if you're going to do this, you're going to need extra time because you've used both of your research. I tell you what, here's what I want you to do. Roll me a luck roll, and I will tell you if you glean something quickly from just a brief scan.
Can I roll too?
Oh, it's a hard success.
Okay.
Give it all.
Nice.
You
Very
scan.
well,
Yeah, you scan through everything, and you realize the only thing that catches your mind or catches your eye real quick is something that is very eerie to what you've just realized, and that a tissue sample from the Tyrannish appears to date this organism at around 150 years old.
Okay.
She appears alive
Does
and
it say
well
what
and all
tissue
that.
sample, where the tissue sample was from?
Yeah, the tissue sample that they pulled out was from the armpit area.
Okay. Interesting. And I'll ask a few questions after reading it. If I notice any oversight or lack of attention in certain areas.
Oh, you notice a ton of shit wrong.
Oh,
You notice a ton of shit that you would have done differently.
Tomb coughs. You need to take the blood pressure every hour. You're monitoring someone this intensively. You need to take more blood samples, obviously. Not all the time, so she will become anemic. You need to take... She's just going to list, like, this is shit you should be doing. Oh my
It's
gosh.
about 3 down before they realize that they need to be taking notes, and then all of them kind of just like
Scramble.
flip a page in their board and start writing shit down.
And because of your incompetency in this matter, I expect a full report when I return.
And they just look for a second. All their eyes turn towards a taller gentleman in the room, and he kind of has
I can look it
like
over
a-
for errors.
like a fish out of water look as his mouth opens over and over again, and from the doorway you hear, "Oh, And you look over and Einstein's sitting there and he just walks off. And they immediately agree and start following your orders.
Thank you. And again, I double check this one. He has most errors on his information. And yeah, then she'll leave. She'll make her own couple little notes on her way out.
And just so everybody knows, the reason there was not a persuasion roll made there is because the luck roll nuked it. So
the luck roll nuked it. Yes.
Yeah. Great.
I am really bad at persuading.
I'm gonna do my last one on the Kilgrave name instead
Okay.
of going again for Claire.
Okay, this is going to require a hard success.
And you're gonna make me call the 20 before I use it? Things have changed that much between us, Greg?
Nothing has changed between us, but yes, that's what's going to have to happen from now on.
Dirty dog.
Okay. Everything has changed.
Everything has changed.
Everything has changed. Everything.
It's like an
different.
REM song, right?
So indecisive.
That's my curse in life. I understand.
Yeah, it's real hard. I'll just roll it. Oh God. Wait, no, should I use the 20 G's? I just heard two in tandem gasps.
The
Fuck
20
it.
could be
Fuck it.
the 20 could be used when you're gonna die. This isn't like life or death. This is
Fine.
just research.
I love research. Okay, fine, I'll just roll it.
She's
through it.
so curious.
I will use 3 points of luck, Greg.
Oh.
You
Mwah.
use 3 points of
Make it a
luck.
hard
Okay,
success.
Yes, sir.
take that luck off of there, and
Thanks, Strider.
here's what you get from the little bit of research into the name. You find a very old military record from right around the beginnings of the Civil War, and it mentions a Jack Kilgrave, but that's all you find.
How far back
Oh, you
would
know,
that be? Is that
150 years ago.
Yeah, it looks like around 1858.
Okay, so not 150 years, but
We're just on the same wavelength.
He's ancient.
Great. Great. Any family?
You didn't get that far in your research. This is going to be
Yeah.
something that's going to require several different
Uh-huh.
looks into all
Great.
this.
Good. Good. Great. I go meet up with my... Oh, no, I'm calling that community line before I go, and that's the last thing I do. Promise.
Okay.
I wanted to do 4 things.
You call the line, and it rings for a while.
Mm-hmm.
Rings, and you can hear like the kind of click, relay, click of the old party lines. And this is basically where it's jumping from like community line to neighborhood line to neighborhood line. So it would ring and kind of then ring and
Mm-hmm.
and you are just about ready to hang up when you hear a voice go, yeah, Ballantine Ale. Hello? Hello? Oh, Christ. Yeah.
Yep. Cool. Great. I go meet up with my friends and tell them all about what I found out.
Okay, so you guys meet up at the airstrip over on Staten Island. Calamity Jane and the Ugly Duckling have been prepped and ready for takeoff. There is not a lab on board the Ugly
Glad
Duckling.
I took some of Einstein's equipment then.
Right, but there is, it appears that the navigation table has had a couple little extra things roughly added to it that might be able to hold some of your instruments. You know, there's fasteners and kind of like U-hooks and things like that.
So I can put my pilfered equipment on, 'cause she didn't really ask. She just...
Oh,
She's like,
Einstein just would load you up, like it's
Yeah.
whatever you needed.
Whatever me and Dwight could carry is what we took with us.
Okay, whatever Dwight could carry. Dwight's got 1,000 guns and now 1,000
Okay,
pieces
so
of
I guess
Ow.
mostly me, but
I think my stitches are coming out.
right.
Oh no.
Okay, so you guys get in. It's the early morning of, I believe it would be May 16th. So we should. It's a 316 to
Or
Borneo.
March.
Yep. So what you guys like to do? You can load up here. Calamity is ready. The duckling is ready. How's it proceed?
Kate walks up to is looking for Franklin.
Franklin pops out of the ugly duckling. He has a page that, if you were to look at it, you'll realize it's everything that Kate does before she flew in the ugly duckling that he has written down by hand. And he has a check mark beside it as he is trying to mimic exactly what you did whenever you prepped the duckling for the Bolivia run. And he's almost through it as he pops out and he's, Mr. Callahan, she's almost ready.
Oh, Frank, I need you to talk me out of a really, really bad idea.
Am I the right person for this?
Yeah, you're the exact right person. Now, look,
Okay.
I've been up all night long researching for this trip. I am in no condition to get behind the stick of that airplane.
I'll fly.
God.
Oh, you mean Jane? Okay.
God, I want to. And I'd get there half a day before anybody else in her, but I'm just not sure I'm safe. I'm not sure I'm safe to do much more than sit in that co-pilot seat and sleep for a little while.
Well, Well, I'll say it like this, Miss O'Callahan. Again,
Well, that settles it. That settles it, Frank. Thank you so much. I really appreciate it. All right,
you're welcome.
So let's just and she just walks over toward the hangar where Calamity Jane is, and you see her just do a quick, if you're paying attention, does just a quick once around and spends a little time with her best friend before heading back over to the Ugly Duckling.
If an inanimate object, which inanimate objects can't express emotion, we know this, right?
Mm-hmm.
If you were close enough, you may hear Calamity sigh. And Kate does.
Kate, is this Mr. Watson?
Yes, it is, Miss Ives.
Oh, will you introduce us?
I flew down to Bolivia with...
Oh, that's right. I always forget that because it went so fast and you were always up front and I never got to talk to you.
But of course, I don't know that you've been formally introduced.
That's
Miss Ives.
true. And formality is very important for a Southern girl like myself.
I couldn't agree more. Miss Ives, Franklin Watson, who'll be our co-pilot again for this trip.
Pleasure to meet you, ma'am. He wipes his hand, the grease onto his pant leg as best he can, and he shakes your hand.
Great. Good. I'm glad.
Are you doing something? Or just shaking his hand?
I'm doing something, Greg.
Do something, girl.
I'm going to do something.
Well, give me that roll then.
Which roll? You want power roll or?
Yeah, I want a power roll. He's not a piece of meat. Well, he is, but I mean...
Extreme.
Okay, so here's what you see. You see immediately on Franklin's surface level, you see not necessarily lewd thoughts about Kate, but you see thoughts about him at the first meeting with Kate as if it's replaying over and over in his mind. You also see him sitting in Calamity Jane's seat as he's like going back and forth like he's pretending the flyer. And you also see like pictures of him like playing catch in a hay field or like a wheat field somewhere. It is like if a Boy Scout needed to have a model dream badge, this is it. And you've just seen it with Franklin Watson. There is nary a Dietrich in sight.
I hug him.
I
hug him.
And as you're hugging him with the last of your image, Kate fades just a bit, and then Sabella is also in the meeting memory somehow, as if they're...
I'm sorry.
I'm not.
you know-
I mean, what?
No, I'm just so happy to be going on this trip with you, Mr. Watson. You're real good
Me too.
co-pilot. Yep.
Thank
for
you.
for Kate. And I'm
I
gonna
agree.
go talk to Mr. Dwight and Mr. Elijah. Right. I gotta go. He's
Okay.
a great guy, Kate. He's a stand-up gent. And I'll run away.
Well, there you have it. Franklin, go finish pre-flight, would you please?
Yes, ma'am. And he goes off and finishes the last couple checks on his Cato Callahan inspired checklist. It's moments later, and he is done. And how do you guys feel about going to 9:30 tonight? You want to?
Yeah, plus yeah.
Everybody?
Yes.
Can everybody? Just I'm asking right now. 'Cause
might as well. I was sending you some messages. As long as you read those over, then yes.
Oh, you're sending me.
Sneaky Pete. Oh, and I do tell everyone the name now, by the way. I didn't want to do it earlier because I wasn't sure if he was with me.
Yes. If you want to do the first one that you sent me. Yes.
Oh, secret stuff Mr. Sawyer was
Ooh,
doing.
nice.
I'm doing hard successes.
Oh,
Nice. Ooh.
Now for the first one.
Yeah. It's all just gonna be the same thing. Just that.
Okay, let's go with that. That's fine. Okay.
Yeah.
As you guys load in all of your stuff, you get aboard the Ugly Duckling. She taxis, and in the dawn, early morning, she lifts off into the air. Now, unfortunately, I do not have a travel montage for this one. I know. Here's the problem. Good luck trying to find a map that goes from New York to Borneo without cutting off. Because you can't go
don't
west.
challenge me, Greg. I am known as
know.
the person who can find anything on the internet.
I know, but I found one, and After Effects didn't want anything to do with it. Excuse me. So I got like a half-A version that I was not very happy with. So I am going to go ahead, and if I can do something for the return trip, I will, but whatever. We'll see.
Okay.
So as you guys go, it takes you several days to get. We're talking about 2.5, 3 days of
Can I
travel
do
time.
research on the plane?
Can I do research on the plane?
Yes, you guys can all do research on the
I'm
plane.
fully healed back up.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I was just gonna say, Dwight, you are healed back up. I'm going to. Okay, who's doing research on what? Because I'm going to limit what you can do because of. I think I know what you're going to research, but. Greta, what are you doing?
Oh,
Greta.
no, not me first. Okay, shit. All right.
Okay,
First,
Sabella,
I'm going
what
to
are you
take
doing?
some tissue samples from my head and set them aside for when I do have better lab equipment. But the fresher the samples, the better. So I'm going to try to look up as much as I can with this very impromptu lab I have on this plane.
You're looking up samples of your own head?
No, my head that was in the. I took.
Oh,
this
No,
oh
her
Jesus.
head.
Oh, you brought
My-
your head with you.
Yeah. Oh, did
I
I
was
do that? Why would I
confused.
not bring
Okay.
the head with me, Greg?
Okay, so the
Head's our
head
best friend.
the
It's
head
very
is
important.
with you.
I don't want anyone else to touch it.
I will remind you that there is no ice box on the Ugly Duckling, but
I took the icebox with me.
What? Who says there's no icebox on my plane?
I will allow it.
you will allow there. Well, first off, there's no ice on the Ugly Duckling, and this is before
That's why I'm researching it first, Greg.
you're making an ice. Okay, no,
Yeah,
all right.
Greg.
That
How
was
about
the
this?
that
I
was
will
the
allow
thing.
you to take samples from your head with you if you want to keep the head in the ice box back in.
Okay, well,
library.
I'll do that instead with a big note in like 3 different languages saying, "Do not open unless to replenish with ice.
Okay.
Do not touch head."
This message was cleverly
It's in-
displayed in the mouth of the head. So if you open up,
It's just like like push pinned it to his scalp. Just
right. You nailed it. Okay.
and it's in Latin, German, and English.
Okay. Any checks you make on here, medicine wise?
Be hard.
Yeah, they're gonna be hard,
Yeah. Okay. So for
and
this
they're
is
not gonna be as. They're not gonna reveal as much as something that would
Yeah.
be done in lab. So.
yeah, but I might as well not waste my time completely on this flight. So
Okay. So yeah, go ahead and.
nope.
Okay.
That was the.
Sabella, what would you like to do during this trip?
Scrolls.
And because you're on a plane, and because there's other shit that needs to be done, and because you're not isolated, we're gonna make one roll for the whole trip, and then I'll let you make another roll coming back. But there's other stuff that's going on that needs to be taken into consideration.
Greg,
Evals as well.
I could do a pilot check just to see if I can keep it steady, so there's plenty of a good environment for research.
Allison, that sounds vaguely like you're becoming a rules lawyer.
Sounds like a clever use of the
I am going to. I object, overturned, overruled, or whatever judges say.
Everything has changed. Everything
has changed. Okay, God. Sabella, what would you like to do when you?
I want to look at those scrolls, Greg.
At least you can read with the bumpy plane.
I want you to make an occult check before you look at these things.
Success.
Okay. As soon as you kind of pull this ancient papyrus-esque stuff apart, you read about 2 lines, or try to start deciphering about 2 lines, and you get this like wild surge of almost like an adrenal rush in your mind. And you kind of stop for a second, and after you take your eyes away from it, it pulls back. You realize that if you continue to read these things, it might be detrimental to your psyche. Mechanically, I'm going to make you roll a sanity check.
I would love to.
Okay. This is going to be a hard sanity check.
Fuck!
I should have drugged you up. Okay.
Always drug me up.
Was I able to choose my new serums for this flight? Because this is a new mission.
Sure, yeah. Let me know what they are.
I will.
Yes, I saw the altitude stuff. Okay, so that was not a hard success. That was a success, but that was not a hard success.
I didn't roll anything recently.
Oh, I'm sorry.
Yeah, that's her occult roll, not her sanity roll.
Okay.
I haven't rolled it yet. I was waiting for Lindy to finish.
Lindy can't help you now.
I can't. You've already started reading. I can't help.
I'm just looking. I'm looking at this thing.
That says you have a crit.
That says I have a crit. This little post-it that I keep, because Greg told me to keep post-its, and they're so useful.
They are.
I think I might use it.
Okay. Now, I will just reiterate what Strider said earlier, that sometimes criticals keep you alive, but hey, use it now. That's fine.
Oh, God, Greg.
You know what else keeps you alive sometimes? Really powerful magic spells.
Sure, yeah. They also kill you, but
They also. It is.
potato.
This is very hard. I'm a very indecisive person.
No shit. Pick something.
I'm sorry.
I'm just glad I'm not the only one.
Okay, we'll come back. We'll come back to you. You make your decision.
You make your
decision. Okay, as you're sitting there, Elijah, you're leaning up against the bulkhead at one point in like the cargo area of the Ugly Duckling, and at one point you realize that you're, as mentioned in chat, it gets a little cold when you go up 1,000 feet or so, and every 1,000 feet it gets a little colder. And back in the day, in 1933, insulation was not too great on these old planes, so you're getting a little cooler. You notice that your left side feels warmer for a moment, and you look down, and Ruby is asleep on your shoulder, her head resting against your left shoulder.
Elijah just kind of whispers, we're on our way, kid. You're gonna be fine.
She doesn't wake up, but she seems to kind of curl closer into you.
Elijah spends a good majority of the trip either looking at his gloves or looking at his shoulder and not really talking to anybody or doing much of anything.
Okay.
Besides whispering to himself over in the corner, of course.
Right, which over the roar of the ducklings' engines and the altitude probably gets lost. Greta, yes?
Okay, so because my research wouldn't have taken the entire flight. Could I have done some more psych evals all the way?
Sure, whoever will willingly do it.
Okay. Cool.
Who would like to submit to a psychology evaluation?
I'll do another one.
Okay.
Dwight will finally agree to one, probably, if she persuaded him.
All right. Yay.
Mechanically, how this works is declare which one of these. So you're gonna roll psychology or psychoanalysis for this.
Psycho. Yeah, they're about the same. So.
Okay. Yeah, roll whichever one you want. Now, mechanically, I'll let you know that if she were to fumble your roll,
But not
meaning
100.
she rolls a 100 even, it'll be a 1d6 sanity loss. Anything else will build towards her being able to help you with sanity.
And regain sanity.
So,
continually.
Right, go ahead and roll these per person.
Okay.
And then what we'll do is this might be our bonus episode for next week where we will have the psych eval on the duckling. And we will see exactly what goes on. So that's what I'm thinking. But we won't go to the actual questions right now. We'll just have, and this will help me with the questions. Yeah.
Okay.
So tell me who you're rolling for in what order.
Yeah.
Yes.
How many of these can you get in?
She can get all of you
I
once.
can get everybody.
Oh yeah. So yeah, I'm game.
Does anyone not consent? Nope. Okay.
Okay.
So
So,
we'll just.
yeah, Lindy, tell me who you're doing and in what
All
order
right.
the roll is. So just say this roll is for, and then roll it.
Okay. This might be what I put my extra 20 points into, depending on how things go.
Please do.
Yeah.
You know what? I'm gonna do that now. I'm gonna be better at psychoanalysis. Right now. Boom. I had
You
to put
roll,
that 20
you roll the
points somewhere.
natural 100 and just.
She read
Oh, you're fucked up, huh?
Sorry, yeah, you're really messed up. All right, we're gonna do an order of the Zoom videos. We're gonna go with Sabella first. All right. Success, almost hard success. All right, and then we'll go with Kate. Success.
Nice.
And then we'll go with Sylvia. Extreme.
An extreme on Sawyer. Okay.
And then on Dwight.
You guys are getting close.
On Dwight. Hard.
Nice. Okay, yeah, this will definitely be a bonus episode at some point. where
Gotta
we-
put that extra 20 points in for Kate there.
No, yeah, right.
So it was at 50, which was still good. Most of them would have succeeded, but we might need some sanity help, guys.
Nice. Okay, so what that means is everybody has a success. As soon as she gets another success for each of your characters, you will regain sanity. So she'll be able to regain a bit for you, which is something that is very, very important here in Call of Cthulhu.
Does that extreme success affect that at all?
Yes.
Out of curiosity, I haven't done psychoanalysis in my campaigns. So.
It will, and we're going to bleed that into the question and answer, and there will be an immediate effect for Elijah. And I'll hopefully by the time we do our next main episode, we'll have that
He
resolved.
needs it the most, honestly.
Yeah, he needs-
So that's a good.
I do, yeah.
Right, but this is right. The dice are right in the story here. Sabella,
Tremendous.
Yes. I'm
Make
gonna
your
roll
deci-
for it.
I love it. Let's do it.
Hey, if you lose. Oh!
Greg.
Excellent. I am so happy for you.
I know you are.
Okay, so as you begin your research for this, it is very difficult. You're wading through a language and you are wading through absolutely foreign ideals, beliefs, ways and opinions of what appears to be a mad woman that was writing this particular scroll that you're looking through. However, she makes a few good points. And as you are studying this scroll, you realize that it is the first, maybe half, of some type of summoning spell. You're not real sure, they keep referring to magic and spells, and that the entire concept of that in 1933 is completely bizarre and completely foreign. But the more that you read, the more this lady seems to know what she's talking about. Also, with that extreme, you also gain 4 Cthulhu Mythos points. and 4 Nakal language. So you get 4% in the NAACAL language.
Greg.
Right? There I am. Okay, you guys are on final approach for Borneo as you're coming up on the 4th day out. So this would be March 19th as you guys are coming in. You're about 10, 15 minutes away from the coast of Borneo when Elijah, you feel a tug on your shirt. And you look down and Ruby is there. And there's panic in her eyes.
Thank God it's Ruby. I thought it was going to be Mike.
Not yet. So she looks at you and her eyes are wide and she says, "Are you coming?"
We're here right now. We're in an airplane and we're seeing Borneo.
You're over the island?
Yes, I believe so.
How did you get past all those things? And at this point, Kate, in the window in the front of the Ugly Duckling, you see what looks like a flock of distant birds. And Franklin kind of leans forward a bit and looks and he goes, "Miss O'Callahan, what the hell is that?" Kate, you know just what this is. As you see a dozen of those bat dragons come flying directly at the Ugly Duckling. I'll let you guys know this. We have 20 minutes if we want to try to resolve this bad boy, but as they're coming towards you, the Duckling is no Calamity Jane. There are, however, defensive weaponry throughout the Ugly Duckling. There is a nose turret, there is a tail gun, and there are 2 side guns. At this point, I need everyone or anyone that's going to actually man a gun to let me know where they're going. And I need to know who's flying the plane if Kate elects to man a gun. So we have forward, tail, left, and right. Let me know.
Elijah's going to whisper to the little girl, just, we're fine. I've dealt with those kind of things before. I know what I'm doing.
Forward.
And he stands up and just, "Soldier boy, you get on the forward gun, please. I think we have company."
And at that point, you hear the crackle of the loudspeaker as Kate comes on and says, "Y'all, we're about to have some company up here. I need you to man those guns."
How many guns are there? It's 4? Okay, I guess. Yeah.
What's the skill check here for the shot, Greg?
Mechanically speaking.
It is a dex check.
Oh.
This is not an attack roll. This is a dex roll to see if you have the ability to swing this massive gun around while the duckling is moving at a moving target.
I will take the front gun.
Greta will take a gun.
Are there, like, how the window situation, like, it's
Whenever
fairly...
the front and rear guns have glass in them. So there's glass with a leather basket that is kind of holding in, they're keeping out the air that the front guns move through and the rear gun moves through. But the side guns, you actually open the duckling up and hang these guns out the side, a la like a Huey helicopter in Vietnam. Like, you're going to be exposed immediately to
I'll
the
take
wind.
the rear gun.
I think I should take the front gun, actually.
Okay, so we've got Sawyer on the front gun. We've got Greta on the rear gun, which leaves
Board for
Dwight.
punishment. That's me. Yes, I'll take it.
Dwight and Sabella. Are you manning a gun or are you kind of battening down the hatches?
I think if Dwight's gonna be doing one of the side ones that's gonna have the best view, I will stand behind him to help him if anything gets too close. But I don't know that there's a point of me manning the gun.
Okay, so Dwight,
you're
which
gonna
one?
leave that.
Yeah, there is another gun in that room in the main cargo area. But Dwight, what would you like to have, right or left?
Give me right. He's right-handed. He'll take right.
Okay.
Is
So
Kate right-handed flying?
What's that?
Is Kate right-handed flying?
She is.
Yeah, she'll probably pull to the side. He'll take the right side.
Okay, so as you guys are coming in, these Strider, since you're in the nose, Strider comes in and kind of squeezes in between Kate and Franklin to get to the forward nose position, which is actually just a small hatch right underneath the control panel of the cockpit. And as you climb in, you are literally in something about the size of a big tractor tire with a front window in it. And you have a bird's eye view of the bat dragons as they come spinning in. And as you're kind of hunched over this gun, you feel as your hands grip on the control panel, you see Ruby's hand touch and cover one of yours as she is sitting on your lap and looking out as you're getting ready to shoot. And you see her pointing out and she goes, "There they are." I need you to shoot. You're the first one out of the banks here. You need to roll a dexterity with disadvantage because of their distance and speed. And we will engage after you get your first volley out.
Ooh, nice.
Okay.
With disadvantage, I succeed.
Right. So
because I have had experience killing these things before. Thank you very much.
That's right.
Yeah.
That was an absolute call to Heronius right there. Thank you very much. with the look up. Okay, so as Kate, as you're flying, immediately the kind of aerodynamic shift as the gun starts lurching underneath you. And there's, as the gun's extended and unbuckled, you feel the drag as it grabs hold of the duckling. And Franklin immediately grabs the stick and he's wild-eyed beside you. And one of them explodes in the distance. You just see blood and liquid as it explodes, and the rest veer off and start going in very erratic patterns. Kate, you're the only one that's actually seen these things in the open air, and the geometry of their flight is insane. They spin on a dime, they flip upside down, they fly upside down. Nothing about their flight naturally makes sense. But you all have seen these before, so you don't have to roll any sanity checks except for
Oh no.
except for Greta. And
Honestly, Greta's probably a little in awe. She's like, Lindfirm.
and except for Franklin Watson.
Franklin. Come on,
Oh,
man.
no.
Frank's eyes get unbelievably wide as he looks out and sees these things. And he completely shuts down for 6 sanity as Franklin just kind of pulls back in his seat, and you see him start to try to unbuckle like he's going somewhere. And he's like struggling with his 3-point harness as he's just mumbling to himself, none of this, they can't fly like that, as he's trying to reach for his stuff.
I'm fine. I'm just fascinated. I'm like, the biology involved in this is just...
Shoot him, Doc.
Okay, so here's what we're going to do. We've had Strider roll again for Elijah. You were at the nose, so you got 1 bonus round. We are now engaged in round 1. We're going to do all of you guys, and then we're going
I've
to
already
see.
rolled.
Yeah, he rolled up.
I have hard success.
Okay.
Do I have to re-roll it?
Yeah, I need disadvantage rolls from everybody, please.
Oh, disadvantage
So roll
roll.
twice, take the highest roll.
Oh, he still succeeds. He's...
So
Nice.
Lowest roll.
Okay, another one.
Highest
Oh, I would have been an extreme, but, I'll just take a success.
Nice.
And as I'm shooting at them... oh, no!
God damn it.
That's the pilot?
No.
No.
Okay, so very
Yeah, ruh-roh.
When the first one explodes, Elijah is going to scream to everybody, 2.
so very similar to episode 4.
Yeah, don't get cocky, kid.
Right. Greta yells up from the tail, and Dwight just takes one out immediately. you begin to fire. Elijah begins to fire. And for whatever reason, the belt-fed ammo that's going into this gun just crumples and snaps. And the entire thing stops. So you are now sitting in a defective or a useless, as of right now,
Take the other
gun.
one.
Yeah, if you want to roll a mechanical repair roll to try to fix it, you absolutely can.
No.
Or you can go to the
Other
other
gun to the
gun.
left side.
Okay. So
Yeah, that's what he's gonna do. He's going to gingerly set the girl down out of his lap and then sprint to the back of the plane and try to take the left gun.
Okay, so
Wait, hold on. So as he's climbing out of the turret, do I have some sense of the malfunction?
yeah, you heard it. You heard a snap. You heard
All right.
a definite, mechanical.
Okay,
malfunction.
so as he's climbing out, she says, "Now, Mr. Sawyer, you're a pilot, right? Why don't you climb on in here and I can go down there and fix that?"
Shooting more important right now. Have your co-pilot do that.
Well, he's not in any condition to fly this plane right now, Mr.
there is a
Okay,
pistol
no,
in
fine,
front
I'll
of
do it.
Where you
Franklin's-
fly the plane?
I'll do it. You get down there. You fix that then. Yes.
Oh God,
Please stop.
I'm gonna die.
Please.
Yeah, Franklin has pissed himself. He is
We're
no
gonna
good.
die.
He has gone bye-bye.
And while this is going on, Red is
Okay.
watching where the shots hit on these creatures to try to get some sense of biology on these things because she's just that much of a nerd.
Kate is just completely convinced that that Mr. Elijah Sawyer can fly this plane.
Okay, so here's what we're going to do. As of right now, we have killed 3 of these things. There are 9 left. And so the magic number, kids, is anything. You have a 50% chance here. High 50s, good. Low 50s, bad. Let's do 9 of them. Good.
Bad. That's very
Real bad.
What is this
Good.
for?
good.
Good.
Good. Good.
So is that all of them? No. 1, 2,
1,
3,
2,
4, 5, 6. 3
5,
more.
Bad.
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 Good.
So there's
okay.
only 3 bads. Well,
So-
2 bad, 1 really bad.
Yeah, here's what we're going to do. 2 of them land on the side of the duckling and begin ripping at the front of the duckling. You can hear metal being torn as you can actually see claws punch into the inside of the cargo hold as these things are hanging on. Kate, you feel the drag on as soon as they latch hold of this additional, non-aerodynamic disturbance on the outside of the duckling. With that crit, though, what ends up happening is, Kate, you also hear and lights start lighting up as engine number 2 has apparently gone out on the duckling.
Can
All
I,
right.
Can
Go
I
ahead.
see any of them?
You can see a Talon coming in, and if you look out any window, you just see like a mass of flying geometry outside.
Okay.
You can see several of them, but you can't like track one from your current position.
All right. I'm just gonna wait until I can actually like see one of their eyes at some point.
Okay.
Yeah.
Alrighty, so we're gonna start round 2. Sawyer, if you want to get up to the left-hand gun, I'm gonna allow you to do it.
Sorry, Miss O'Callahan. There's blinking lights. You need to take care of it now. I could have, but now there's lights and I gotta go.
But before we get any of the guns, I want Kate to roll a piloting check. This will help with defensive capabilities with how they're going to react during this fight.
Success.
Okay, so you're able to.
Oh, wait. Would you give me more if I lucked down to that hard success?
I sure would.
Yeah, I'll take it. That's 7. I'll take it.
Lucky number 7 down to the 45. Okay, so absolutely, you take it down, and you're able to explain how you kind of defensively maneuver the ugly duckling.
Well, Kate feels the plane shift as these 2 bat dragons grab onto it, and she throws the ugly duckling into a hard right bank, and then very quickly, so almost completely horizontal and then very quickly throws it all the way back. So if you're not holding on, you're getting shaken around pretty well. And her intent is that the centrifugal force, as she comes back around, is going to throw them both. Off.
Okay, great. I'm going to roll. Okay, they're both able to hang on, but what ends up happening is I know that Steve already rolled for Dwight's second round there. As the bank goes right, basically it inverts Sabella and Dwight. So Dwight falls against where the gun is coming from, and Sabella like lands on his back, and for a moment they're completely as it goes around, they're completely lying on their side looking at the ocean below them. When it comes back around, the shot or the opportunity for this round in the window was missed by Dwight. So we got Sawyer and Greta if they want to get a shot off here. Because of the maneuver also, you can make these shots at regular. We'll make you guys have no disadvantage for these shots.
Cool.
Success.
Okay,
Success.
so two more explode as you guys are kind of getting the hang of this. You know, they're flying right in front of these guns. Boom. 3. As you guys are counting them out. Okay, so now we'll do 7 rolls. 1, not good.
Fuck.
2, okay. 3, not good. 4, not good. 5, not good. 6, that's all right. 7, not good. Okay. So
5 out of 7 are not good.
Yeah.
Great.
So with those hits, you see the outside of the ugly duckling begin to get peeled away like a can. At this point, like Franklin's screaming. Like he's just screaming and like crawling at the side of his face as he's watching these things come in. He is absolutely terrified, completely ineffectual in this entire situation. Kate, you feel the duckling scream underneath you as she is being sundered in midair, and you can hear her, like coughing and sputtering, and even with only one engine left, you see ahead of you, maybe 5 miles distant, you see the Isle of Borneo as it's getting closer, but at this point, you might as well be back on Staten Island, because as the rest of them begin to go, there is a wrenching sound as the roof of the duckling peels away, and one of the claws peels away, and one of the creatures looks in, and its head snakes in and looks right at Sabella.
Oh, good.
Now, what we're going to do, ladies and gentlemen...
I wanted to look at one of them in the eyes.
Ladies and gentlemen, this is the last round, so what I'm going to need is piloting from Kate. I'm going to need disadvantage dex rolls from everybody else. Actually, let Kate go first, and we'll decide what we want to do.
Oh! Snap.
Oh, wow.
This is the difference between disadvantaged and...
Yeah. I'll take the 4 luck and take that down to a hard success.
Okay, and explain to us how you do it this time with the coughing, sputtering, and keening ugly duckling as it's just shaking, and you can feel she's just an inanimate object. The duckling doesn't have feelings, right? But if she did, she'd be yelling, she'd be screaming, she'd be begging for help, as what once was her proud form is being torn apart by these creatures. Everybody that's attacking, roll with normal dex rolls for me. Elijah, Dwight, Greta.
Ooh.
Can I, as we're kind of playing out the piloting here, I wonder if I could make a physics roll on their sort of flight geometry to see if I can come up with the right maneuver to shake them off and get us down. I mean, because the primary goal here is to get us on the water at this point.
Yes, I love the idea. Yes, you absolutely can do this.
There's nobody out there that wants to send a crit my way, is there?
I would if I could.
You can do it. You can do it.
Hard success.
Oh!
Yeah. Well, this is the second time now that she's had the opportunity to share the sky with a few of these things. And so as she's been watching them, she's getting this, beginning to build this idea of how it is that they stay in the air and exactly what they're capable of and what they're not capable of. And she gets the idea that if she's able to get this thing in a steep enough dive, that their aerodynamics may just not allow them to keep up with that, and they may have to disengage. And coincidentally, that's exactly where she wants to get. She wants to get this bird down on the water, because it's not going to be in the air much longer, no matter what happens. So she presses the stick forward just as hard as she can, and if you're in the cargo compartment, you feel your stomach just sort of rise up into your chest, like when you're going over the peak of a roller coaster. And in fact, you're weightless for a couple of moments as she goes into this parabolic dive, and from the cockpit, Kate's just looking at nothing but water ahead of her, and she's going to be able to just pull it up just in time to have a decent approach to put this thing down.
Okay. As this insane maneuver begins to occur, you get to roll a power roll with disadvantage, Sabella, as you have a moment, a brief second before this dive takes place. Also, what happens is Greta, Sawyer, and Dwight all hit 3 more, which reduces the grand total down to, I believe, 4 of these creatures.
Yes.
So you have 4 of those creatures that are out there right now, one of which is staring at Sabella. You have a disadvantage power roll to see if you can do something in this moment.
Okay.
4.
And so regular success.
Okay, so you lock eyes with it for a second, and a moment later, it is gone. It just gets sucked out as everything goes into a downward spiral. You see the claws that had been in the other latch point right behind engine number 2. They pull off as these creatures are getting ripped from the back of the ugly duckling. But the duckling herself is in an incredible dive at this point. Kate, I'm going to need you to roll us a piloting check to see if you can level this girl off and see if we can get her down into the ocean.
Oh!
Holy shit!
Good.
And that is why she is the captain.
In a month in Cthulhu.
Right. Okay, so absolutely, as you land in and you skim from somewhere, even for a second, engine 2 fires back up and gives you just a little bit more lift as you're able to bring in the right side, and you're cruising maybe 5 feet above the ocean as you're hitting some of the higher white-capped waves, and the boom, boom, boom sound from underneath the duckling as she's hitting the actual ocean. And as you're getting closer, you see up ahead that there are docks, and there are the actual landing area for the duckling is arrayed out like as it's perfectly set up as you've come in. And through the other doors, as anybody that's looking out, even through the hole in the ceiling of the duckling, the creatures have pulled away. And they have retreated back into the safety of the skies. And as you land and the duckling sighs as the engine 2 goes out again, and you drift now in front, Franklin slumps unconscious in the co-pilot seat. The rest of you are standing in, the gun harnesses and holding on to the cable netting and cargo netting. Greta's in the back, kind of
Swearing
hunched over the...
profusely in German.
Right. As you are all sitting there, and, you're looking around for a second, Elijah, you feel a squeeze in your left hand, and you look down, and Ruby's there, and she just looks up and smiles at you, fresh tears in her eyes, and she says, "Thank you for coming." And that's where we'll leave it this week on Call of Cthulhu, or Pulp Cthulhu's Project Athena, ladies and gentlemen. These people were awesome. The dice told this story as much as anybody else. Good stuff. Loved it. Loved Mike's contribution. Thank Mike for all those crazy ass
God damn it.
bat dragons.
Mike, you can heck off, man.
Well, at least now Greta's seen them.
That's true.
She hadn't seen them before. Now she's seen the lintworms.
Right? She has
It's
seen them.
nice.
They
He's-
are.
He's part of a
Dragon.
council that's trying to kill us. It's not fair that he can like donate against us.
Right?
Okay, it's
Right.
one or the other.
I know, you know what? It's kind of crazy whenever you have a game and somebody consistently donates shit against you. Isn't it, Strider? Isn't it just nuts when shit like that happens? I mean, it's really sort of unfair, right?
I've never done that. I would never do that. I would never.
I never
Right.
donate against
When you
anybody.
just assume that you have 3 critical failures before you even start a game. Yeah, that's awesome.
A new campaign.
Anywho, whatever. I still had fun. I'd like to go now to Allison, who plays Cato Callahan, who survived yet another night, day, night, or whatever long we were there in 1933. Allison, take it away.
That's why they call her Princess of the Skies, ladies and gentlemen.
Bye.
America's fine, sweetheart.
Thank God.
America's blind sweetheart.
Whew.
I just wish there'd been somebody there to take a picture of that because that was beautiful. Dang, that was so much fun. Fantastic stuff. I'm a little worried about poor Jack, though. I'm not sure. I need a bonus episode of what Jack's doing back there in New York and how he's stewing in his own juice.
Crying over a cup of coffee because of y'all.
Oh, I'm sorry.
Yeah.
Well-
he's a little sliced up there a little bit, but he's all
Well,
right.
he'll be all right. Folks, thanks so much for playing Mike. Thanks for the donation. And also, that's just wrong, man. That's so wrong. So wrong.
It's about to get a lot wronger, but
Jeez. In the meantime, you can find me on Twitter all the time at Allison Robinson. That's 2 L's and a Y. You can catch me on WanderQuest podcast and on God's Fall, playing Riskatane, God of Chaos. And I cannot wait to see y'all back in 1933. Lindy, can you mad science a time machine and just push us forward a week? Because I'm ready right now. Love y'all.
that is great. Lauren, I know that we are still the best of friends. You
Yeah.
didn't have any indecision in any of the roles that I asked you to do tonight.
All of which I succeeded, Greg.
Right. I know. Dice muscles. I love it. Whenever I succeeded, Greg.
That's not how I sound.
So wrong.
How dare you?
Oh,
Greg, you're spot on. That is an impressive
Shut
skill,
up.
man.
That is-
Spider.
You've been practicing.
I have.
Whatever.
You've been practicing.
Lauren,
Wait your turn.
Sabella.
I'm Lauren. Yeah, I'm alive.
1933. Let's hear
Greg's,
about it.
Greg totally respects me and is never annoyed with my shenanigans ever. I'm that salty ginger on Twitter. I DM on Encounter Roleplay tomorrow at 1 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, and then I'm here on Sundays doing this, which is the best. That's me.
Yay. And let's go over to our sniper who had tech issues but was able to pull out of it before we even started. Steven, Dwight, survived 1933, side shot and all. Something tells me he's going to have a little bit more to do when we get on terra firma in Borneo, but that's just me speculating.
Thank you. I had a great time tonight. I feel privileged to survive and actually be here. I don't know what happened to my laptop. So follow all these people on Twitter. They're great. And thank you. Have a good evening.
Nice. Strider, you son of a bitch. Tell us about Elijah and his interesting new sidekick.
I'm sensing some hostility, Greg. I don't know what that's about. Yeah, man, great place to be, having fun. Yeah, I don't think we're going to wait till next Sunday because we got to do that bonus episode, and I am chomping at the bit to get that done. We're all hyped up, man. It's a place to be, having fun. I am DMing a game on Encounter Roleplay on Wednesdays at 4:30 p.m. EST. Come watch. It's going to be fun. There's magic carpets and all other kind of exotic, crazy bullshittery going on. So,
And if there's anybody that can do bullshittery better than the next bullshitter, it's this guy. So please check it out. Lindy, Greta, she's a gunner now?
She's pretty decent with those guns. She didn't fail a single one, even at disadvantage. She's just so happy to have finally been able to do some goddamn research. She's like, yeah, I'm gonna defect to America and get all this research and science done. That was what was promised to me in this defection contract. But no, instead she's getting shot at and traveling to different countries.
She's learning great skills, though.
She is, but it's not what she wanted. But she's dealing with it, and she's getting as much research done as possible, finding some interesting things about certain samples. But I cannot wait for next week and for the Psych Eval session. That should be a lot of fun.
Yes, I'm looking forward to that as well.
Yeah, so that'll be a lot of fun. And yeah, you can find me online at LaughLoveLindy, Twitch, Twitter, Instagram, all that good stuff. I am here every Sunday night, which is the best thing ever, best Cthulhu you're gonna find on the planet. And Wednesdays on Encounter Roleplay with this guy, Grimjack, where I play a crazy hobo, and it's awesome. And on my own channel, I do Dungeons and Dragons, video games, and cosplay stuff. So.
Yes, please check all these people out, because as much fun as they are in 1933, they are every bit as fun in 2018, and they do some great stuff. And I once saw that my buddy Grant Ellis said that people put Dwight, thanks for the follow. Welcome to the party, pal. These people put a smile on your face every day, and what more can be said about friends? So if you follow them, you will be gifted with a smile and gifted with the insight of intelligent, caring people. And Lauren, she's there too, so she'll tell you stuff as well. But other than that, guys, it is a privilege and an honor to play with all of you. And chat, thank you so much. Mike, thank you so much for the donation. Thank you for all the follows, everybody. Have an absolute blast. We'll meet you here next week in 1933. And wait, let's see if we can help somebody out real quick. I think Grant should be doing something right now.
I have to bring my cat is in.
Let's do Grant. What is he, R? Yeah.
Grant R. Ellis. Call it the Maid Raid.
Oh, yes, the Maid Raid, please.
Oh, absolutely. Okay. Grant.
He's so kawaii.
I think I got it right. Let's see if I got it right. I got it right.
Did it.
Okay, yeah, so we're going to raid them out. And everybody, please enjoy your week. Have fun. If you have tomorrow off, please enjoy it. I will be hosting Encounter Roleplay's Reign of Terror tomorrow from 4:30, right after Lauren does her spectacular show, which everyone needs to catch. If you have it off tomorrow at 1, check her out. It's a great, great, great show. Until then, we'll be in 1933 waiting for you all. Stay safe in 2018, everybody.